Oh, sure. Anytime I do the 1 second, you jump on me like I'm a dumbass. You do the 1 second, and I'm just supposed to sit back here and accept it.
I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, you don't.
I know what the fuck I'm doing, brother. I've been in the radio business 25 years now.
You've been on the radio a long time now, from records to tapes to CDs to just playing Tidal off your phone. You've done everything there is.
Bought the new Kanye album.
You did.
Couldn't even buy an album. Had to buy the recordings on a box. I remember the days when that was standard. I tell you.
Wow,
tape recorders. You probably don't remember, Sonny.
I don't. Cam, because you've told me some stories. You used to be a deadhead. You would go to record, you would go to Grateful Dead shows and record specific concerts, little recording devices in your hat and stuff like that. You're actually responsible for the majority of bootlegged material that we see in the world.
The majority. I was the first blockbuster ever.
Wait, do you mean a little?
Blockbuster stole the name from me, brother.
Yeah, I'd hear about that initially. So you were busting the blocks, and what you were doing was recording movies and then selling them on tape at a store.
Both music and TVs. They stole my name.
Music and TVs.
And music. You heard it right here, Sonny.
I think, Cam. I think your big problem here. You diversified too much, too early. Icarus.
I'm like Spotify.
Go on.
Lots of music. And video.
And don't forget the Spotify video out there, folks. We know there's a lot of people watching Spotify videos. People watching videos on their phone that they should probably just be listening to the thing and paying attention on whatever they're doing.
I think Joe Rogan's the only one that has a video component to his podcast. And there probably is a few more.
The It's Always Sunny podcast has a video. I think anyone can do it. You just have to upload it.
Right, and that's probably a huge bitch.
It's probably a whole thing, but yeah, it's probably actually not that hard, Cam.
Why don't we do it then?
Not interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Probably is fucking hard as hell.
No, I don't even think it's a difficulty thing. I don't like shows that you don't have to watch. Nobody should be watching a podcast. That's just right off the bat here. If you're out there sitting on your couch watching two people talk, fuck right off. You're in your car listening to two people talk. That's just radio.
I mean, it is a pain in the ass when you're watching or listening to a video podcast and they're like, look at this clip here. And you're like, what percent of your listeners are watching this?
Too many clips.
Half?
Too many clips out there.
And then if you're on Spotify and you try and open it up, it immediately pauses it and it's on a tiny phone. You crash your car into the person in front of you. Next thing you know, you got a lawsuit in your hands and the video wasn't even that funny.
And it wasn't even that funny. It was some scientific professional you've never heard of before. You'll never hear of again. But
Oberhurst talking about the phenomenon of the raisins mixed with orange juice causing cancer in teens.
Now, this is a real big concern, replacing pulp with raisins.
They thought raisin bread did it right, and they tried to mix up the two.
Now, Cam, you seem to have your finger on the pulse when it comes to this particular topic of conversation. Have you been diving down the Rogan rabbit hole a little bit too much lately?
A little too much lately. No, no, not too much. A little bit of Rogan, but Spotify thing is a killer, man. It's just their platform is not good for podcasts. I'm a Google podcast kind of person, and I find the interface is smooth, easy to download, easy to stream. Spotify, you got a video component coming up. You try and download it doesn't download it. You try and download it, then it doesn't play because you ran out of your data a few weeks ago because you watched way too much stuff while you're walking. It's a mess.
Now, Cam, you've described 4 separate problems, probably exclusive to you. You're watching things while you walk? That feels like you can do one or the other.
Well, okay, I got this one guy I listen to, but he posts to YouTube on Thursdays, but then sometimes he forgets to upload his podcast until like Sunday. So then I have to watch the YouTube video of it, but I keep it in my pocket playing. It burns through all my data.
Right, because there's no audio only, it's video only.
Well, I could pay for YouTube, whatever, premium, but I'm not a sucker.
You don't want to add to those streaming services, Cam, because your streaming services are through the roof.
I got Audible, which is the book one, Spotify, Netflix. I think that's it.
Dildos.com.
Well, they sent me a freebie for that one.
Well,
I don't carry many subscriptions.
Well, what about the there's that.
Oh, I pay for like $2 for Google storage space.
$2? Easy,
yeah, it's a
there,
very
Cam.
small
You have
apartment.
a wedding to pay for. You have a wedding to pay for, and you're spending $2 on storage?
It's because this podcast takes up so much damn space on the cloud.
That is true. This is one of the bigger clouds. We upload in 24-bit wave files only, just for you slobs who want the best sort of quality.
It's the only halal way to do it. I apologize off the hop here, Cam, for the low energy and Marlboro pack of smokes day voice. I'm coming off the end of a cold here, and no, I checked 4 times for COVID. Each time I rammed it up to my brain, and I did not find a damn thing. No brain or COVID.
That was part of the thing. You were hoping that something would eventually stop you, but you just kind of kept sticking your finger up there. First of all, Cam, you were using
wait till you see resistance. There was no resistance.
Yeah, and I do have to just kind of, for the listeners there, Cam did test himself 4 times, but the first 3 times were just spare pipe cleaners you had lying around the house.
That's the same thing. You dip in a little bit of water afterwards.
Right.
If it turns green.
So you're taking these pipe cleaners.
If it turns green, you're in the clean.
And then it wasn't until test number 4 did you realize that it has to be a Q-tip type thing.
Q-tip, and then what do you call that? Sanitization alcohol.
That's all it was. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like the funny thing is I thought more people would be like super nervous about talking to me. Because I would text people in advance because I had plans. I'd say, hey, just so you know, I'm coming off the end of a cold here, or I had the sniffles, but I've done X amount of negative tests, and they're like, I don't care. Like, people's tolerance is gone now. People are just like, fuck it. If it's COVID, bring it in here. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Well, I think people certainly would be thankful of you, saying like, thank you for telling me. I'm glad it's just a cold. Let's get together. Because if you have a cold, I'll hang out with you if you have a cold. Why not? It's a cold.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's, my buddy was telling me, he's like, dude, there's 100,000 cases of COVID this week in a day. Did you 100% have COVID? And then I sent him back the SpongeBob meme of every letter, one letter being small, next letter being big, just being like, I have COVID.
Now, Cam,
fuck you.
You must have been listening to Rogan lately. We're on dangerous territory of having that little blue banner show up under the episode title, the COVID-19 information resource.
How do they check for
link.
that? Do they just listen for the word?
That's what AI is, baby. That's what AI is. I'm sure if we were to say that word enough, I'm sure they'd pick us up.
The research.
Have you heard? Let's use the buzzwords, but far enough away from each other.
No, can we see? Can we see what will happen?
Let's just keep popping in.
Okay.
Throughout.
So what's the code words?
I don't want the show to be a COVID
I would
show,
say,
you know?
Would lab leak would probably be a big one now to get us?
Zuckerberg. That would be a big one.
Bill Gates? Bill Gates and lab leak. I think if you put those 2 together, we're going to get the blue check mark.
Okay. What about just hoax? Just the word hoax said enough.
Yeah, we could drop that in a few times for sure. 99.99. I feel like that's a good number.
That's true because before that it could just be an appreciation show about Wayne Gretzky, but it's not until the .99 show up.
Yeah. What else can we throw in there? There's got to be something to do with vaccines and causing illness from that.
Okay, I think if you just keep saying the word vaccine. Just keep saying
vaccine,
it. Just keep saying it. Every so often we'll plug the listeners into things like sheeple.
Yeah, sheeple, that's a good one.
I think that's a good one. Yeah, sheeple. So, without having the show bogged down in such a subject matter, we can keep
the flu numbers. We can definitely plug that a few times.
Oh yeah, just like the phrase "the flu kills more a year." Just like that kind of phrase encapsulated and everything. And we're gonna work really hard to get that COVID-19 verified check mark. And with that, let's kick it.
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your.
Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's because we're 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com. Episode 115, 2 C's in a pod here. My name's Cameron Osborne. I am healthy and I am well, god damn it, and I'm sitting here across from Cam LeClaire,
Anthony Fauci's first patient.
Patient X. Cam, you were the first person at a lot of very important moments throughout history. Of course, Patient X and COVID. You were actually there on 9/11. You were the first one to say, "Look at that plane."
Yeah.
I think I can recall many episodes ago it came out that you were pushing people back into the World Trade Center as everybody was trying to run out. I think that came out.
You'll never forget this. This is gonna be incredible.
That came out a couple dozen episodes ago. How can I not? You were just as a part of so many big moments in time. I heard that you were also the cocaine supplier for the set of Apocalypse Now.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know it was the movie that was going on.
Right. You thought you were just going to Vietnam to give cocaine to a bunch of soldiers, and it turns out, nope, Francis Ford Coppola and Marlon Brando.
It's called business, baby.
That's what business is. This is a weekly podcast. What is the show about? Well, hopefully this week's is about getting that blue certification, baby. That's right. What does it take to actually make get your show that COVID banner? You know, I feel like naming the show is a little too on the nose.
Coronavirus.
You know, yeah, just say, big word right there.
Coronavirus.
And
COVID.
Yes, of course. Cam,
where did it come from again, Cam? I don't even remember anymore.
It was something like Co is Roman for
no, the town.
Oh, what?
The town it came from.
You're talking about Wuhan.
Wuhan, yeah, we dropped that in there a few times.
Yeah,
sure. But we can't put in the title.
We can't. No, that's a little too easy. No. What's crazy about a place like that, if I can kind of sidestep, I feel like it's a city with like more people than the entire population of Canada, and we've never heard about it, and we haven't talked about it since. Isn't that something? That a place like that can exist out there. But until then, this is episode 115 on a spring has sprung. Right? We sprang forward. The weather's getting a little bit better, but still dreary, I gotta say. Cam, I think I can see it in your face. It's dragging you down. You'd rather be outside on a day like today.
Yeah. It's funny because we were going to go to the Jays game today, but we just had we were bouncing around so much during the week and yesterday that I just didn't. That was the last thing I wanted to do was like drive to Toronto. And I was thinking, like, I'll just spend the day at home or go golfing and go mountain biking. No, piss poor day. And it's going to rain all week.
Wait, I can see that, Cam. Your mountain bike is behind you, behind the desk there. And it looks like you have a little contraption there that you can sort of rig up your golf clubs to the mountain bike.
Yeah, it's like polos.
You were looking to find a way to make both your golf game and your bike riding slightly more efficient. And you thought it'd be a great opportunity to combine the two.
It's a thought. It's in beta mode here. We're testing it out. If we can get some good weather and some courses that agree to it, then I think we can play polo golf.
Polo golf, newly added, maybe in something newly added to the Two Seasons Pod Pro-Am invitation, the Celebrity Pro-Am Invitational. I'm plugging it every week, you know, because it will be coming up soon. Get your tickets now.
You have to stay on your bike the entire time. Very difficult.
Very, very difficult to do. We're very
no feet down.
We're very much so looking forward to that, Cam. We just gotta find the time to make it happen.
Yeah, we can chat up.
Just gotta pick a weekend, and then it's gonna happen. Of course, there's lots of prizes to be won, raffles. John Daly is making an appearance. We got him. We got Daly.
We got Daly. Daly's coming on. Bryson DeChambeau, waiting for a call back from him.
Okay.
Charlie Woods, we're hoping he can come on to the pod.
The drummer from the Rolling Stones.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Not the son of Tiger. No. We couldn't get him.
No. Yeah, because Cam, because you really wanted a 10-year-old in attendance, and I was like, no, let's go with the old man. And we had a staff meeting about this. You were vehemently on the side of bringing the 10-year-old.
I think he's a better golfer than you or I, so I thought it'd be a good idea. But then there's legal contracts and the T-shirt contest, and I think he's got out of control.
Right, because also again, you were very, very steadfast. You wanted the T-shirt contest to be wet, and I think
to put my foot down
myself, the rest of the board of directors. That's right, we have board of directors here on the podcast. They all wanted a dry T-shirt contest, and you just, from a marketing standpoint, that just doesn't make sense.
No, that's called the Haynes Classic.
The Haynes Classic. Now, of course, this is when the what's the Haynes Classic exactly, Cam?
It's you get several white T-shirts to figure out who washed them the best after a mud contest. It's the Haynes Classic. Right. It's mud wrestling to start, and then sponsored by Tide. Figure out who did the best wash to get all the stains out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's kind of like Cam, because you're always thinking about this marketing thing. That's where your mind goes.
Plug in the pod. Always new subscribers. What's our monthly listens? Over 2 million.
Well, hopefully, if we can get this COVID check mark, the coronavirus blue. That's what I'm calling it. If we can get that, who knows? Then we're put on a list somewhere, and then some group of people who think JFK's still alive will start listening to our show. Maybe that's our target audience.
People who, maybe we just change everything we talk about, and we just talk about but then we have to do so much more research. And I mean, it doesn't have to be good research, but we can.
I think that's the thing. The poorer the research is, the less amount of time that we have to actually look up a concrete theory, the more entertaining it'll be. Surely.
Right. So if we're okay, what do we know about Colt Lugers? It's Colt is a 4-letter word.
Okay.
Good.
Great start. Great start.
Sounds like cult.
Yes.
1-letter difference. So 4 minus 1 is 3. Right?
Yes.
How many sides in a triangle?
There's 3 sides on the pyramid.
Okay, so I'm not saying that. You are. So I just want to confirm that. So you're following it's not my logic, your logic.
That's right. Okay. I got there by myself.
Now, how many eyes does a person have? And then you put the one in between on the forehead. How many?
That's 3.
3. Okay. Cult, 3 eyes. Any thoughts?
Well, my first thought, honestly, would be, who is Colt Luger? But I think you just answered that question right there.
I think Colt Luger is a type of gun. Colt revolver.
It sounds almost like a cigarette.
Man, I was reading Men's Health the other day, actually today, and I thought you weren't allowed to advertise tobacco products.
Yeah, you can advertise tobacco products.
I saw there was tins of dip being advertised and cigarettes, like Winston cigarettes.
Well, isn't Men's Health American magazine?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
In Canada, you certainly couldn't. You walk into a convenience store, they have to have them all covered up or whatever, and they took out all the great imagery off of cigarette packs. Back in my day, there was nice art on a cigarette package, and now it's just gray. Doesn't even make me want to smoke. I don't, but it doesn't anyways.
Not that I want
What happened to Barbara Tarbox? Now you don't remember Barbara Tarbox, old slobs? What's up?
Is Barbara Tarbox the person from Marlboro?
No, she was just one of the anti-smoking ads on the Canadian pack of cigarettes, and her name was Barbara Tarbox.
You think that was a pseudonym?
I sure as hell hope so. I mean, if your last name is Tarbox, you're born a smoker, and goddamn it, you'll die a smoker.
You fucking better. It's like if your last name's Marlboro, you're like, I don't have a choice.
You don't. Actually, you don't have a choice.
What a world.
Nah, Cam,
It
you're
sounds like I smoked 2 packs a day.
yeah, you're really worse for wear over there.
Yeah, I've had better days.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, maybe I'll take a sick day tomorrow depending on how I feel.
Sure, do it. I mean, you work from home, so I guess it's kind of the same.
I mean, no, one is I completely fuck off, and one's I'm at my desk all day.
Okay.
Right? In my opinion, there's a big difference between being on and off.
Or one is like you're taking meetings, and the other one is you're not taking meetings.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kinda-
one is, yeah.
Not bad. Okay.
I could just tell them like, hey, I'm sleeping this afternoon after my last meeting's done at 1:00. But then it's Leafs playoff game tomorrow too, so that's a big
game one, exactly, Cam. You famously not a Leafs fan, but you seem to be looking forward to the event.
Sorry for the sniffles. No, what do you mean I'm not a big Leafs fan? I watched a ton of games this season.
I've never seen you talk. I've never heard you talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've never seen you with any Toronto Maple Leafs clothing on.
I'm literally wearing a Blue Jays sweater right now.
Exactly. Not even close to the same team.
I guess it's close. I mean, it means I'm a sports fan. I like the sports.
Well, we
Watched
know
the Blue Jays game today.
Of course, and you're trying to make up bike polo. We know that you're a sportsman.
Big sports guy. Yeah, no, I can't wait for the playoffs to start. I'm nervous, I think, like everybody else. Your Raptors got eliminated. Shit team. Can't do anything right. Never won never mind.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean it's rough being a Leafs fan. How are you feeling about the playoffs now? Who's your picks now to win?
I'm sure it's going to be a great Stanley Cup playoffs.
No, I meant for the basketball because that's what you follow.
I'm going Milwaukee Bucks or the
Bucks?
or the Boston Celtics. One of those two teams.
So I guess that era of like Curry, LeBron is over now, eh?
Where the torch is being passed, of course.
So who were the big guys on those two teams, the Bucks and the?
Well, just Giannis and Jason Tatum would be those two guys. Yeah.
They're on the same team?
No.
Oh, okay, those
Other
are just
teams,
the two All-Stars. And Giannis, he's the Greek freak.
The Greek
Can you pronounce
freak.
his last name?
Antetokounmpo.
Nice, nailed it.
And
apparently, everyone's been saying Israel Adesanya's name wrong.
And how do you supposed to say it?
Exactly like I said it. Instead of Adesanya.
Okay, so Adesanya to what?
Adesanya.
That's close enough. That's close enough.
I mean, like in the UFC, there's also a guy named Petryan. So how would you say that?
Peter Yan?
Piotr Yan is how it's pronounced, as we learned.
Piotr, even though there's no O.
Correct.
And we're just supposed to sit here and be like, okay, we'll do whatever you want.
I mean, I don't say Cameron Osborne.
Yeah, but what if I'm like, hi, my name's Rebecca. It's spelled Cameron. Where does it stop, Cam? When the coronavirus comes to get us all and turns us transgendered, the two are related. The two are related.
How many eyes does Fauci have in it? Because all he thinks about is himself.
Well, I'll tell you, when you think about yourself, you got two eyes looking back at you, one finger pointing up. You know where it's you know where it's pointing up?
Your third eye?
To the third eye. That's exactly right, Cam.
Off the rails quickly.
Exactly right. Well, we wanted the blue verification. That means we got to get it somehow.
I don't think we're gonna get it. I think you'd have to be a bigger podcast.
I don't know. I don't know what we have to do, but why? What we have to try?
Why risk it? Why not double down to it?
Jesus Christ, Cam. Let's get into something then. Shall we? Let's get into our weekly update here of the Vice Boys. Let's bring you a little slice of ice. Walking on the beach and it's really hot. I think I'm gonna go get a pina colada. Miami Vice is a slice of ice. My Miami Vice is a slice of ice. Wearing cool clothes and smoking cigars. Say hello to my little friend. Miami Vice is a slice of ice. My Miami Vice is a slice of ice. Every single week we recap the adventures of Crockett and Tubbs as they travel their way through the Miami-Dade County area, taking down the bad guys and saving us all, Cam. But here's the catch. We only have 5 minutes to recap the episode. We got episode 9 here for you, The Great McCarthy. I'm kicking this one off, and Cam, you're going to be pulling up the rear. Think you can close this one out in 5 minutes? I think last time we might one of the last couple episodes we didn't actually get to the end.
Yeah, that was on me. I fucked it up. But yeah, I'm gonna close it off today too. So let's see if I can beat it.
Let's see what happens. We're gonna start the clock here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we open up on a bank when 2 cop cars pull up alongside the Vice Boys. We've got a good old-fashioned bank robbery on our hands. The boys chase down an assailant through an abandoned office building where they find the robber hidden under a grate. He's a funny motherfucker, and the boys make the arrest. After the credits, we are at the station. We are interviewing the perp named Marino, who is giving us up his accomplice, Louis McCarthy, who's apparently another top smuggler who is smart and dangerous, just like Bruce Willis from last week. McCarthy has a drug shipment coming in on the weekend and is willing to help the Vice Boys, but they are playing hard to get. Next, we cut to McCarthy and a few others watch an expensive boat on the water. Tubbs is undercover commenting on why his boat is better than McCarthy's, and we see Crockett driving around his own boat. They're trying something here. Tubbs introduces himself to McCarthy as Richard Taylor, and they talk about an upcoming boat race that Tubbs will check out in a few days. The boys then show up at an office where a man named Gifford, one of McCarthy's men, is freaked out to see Crockett and Tubbs. He's an informant for the boys who helped see Crockett and Tubbs bring in 4 bad guys just last month. They're checking the cooked books and seeing all the money McCarthy is making and spending. We learn about a separate bank account belonging to a woman named Vanessa. Vanessa meets an undercover Crockett and Tubbs at his high-end men's clothing store. Tubbs tries on a new suit jacket and shoots his shot with Vanessa. It doesn't really work, but they get invited to a brunch tomorrow morning. At the brunch, we get a tour of McCarthy's home, and Crockett talks to him, telling him that their old cocaine supplier left them 30 keys short, and they want McCarthy to be their new supplier. They can't strike a deal, but they're invited to his party at his house later that night. They debrief the new captain, who wants them in that race, the boat race, no matter what they have to do to get in. That night, the boys check out one of McCarthy's powerboats and don't see any way that he could have been smuggling cocaine in them. At the party, everyone's dancing, and we have a live band with multiple saxophones. The Vice Boys arrive, and Vanessa finds them, where she tells them she feels like she's known them for a long time. Gifford also shows up and takes Vanessa away for a dance. We see Marino from earlier also. McCarthy is playing billiards with a lot of people watching on. He's telling us about a past race when he was dominating some dude at billiards. Crockett challenges him to a game. If Crockett wins, then he's in the race. And if not, then McCarthy gets Crockett's Ferrari. Crockett takes off his jacket and the game is on. He starts knocking down all the balls. He wins the game, so he's in the race, Cam. Kicking over to you.
And you forgot to mention that under a suit jacket that he took off, he was wearing a sleeveless shirt.
I forgot.
To his guns. They're placing the race to secure. Crockett goes to prepare, leaving Tubbs to dance with Vanessa. The pair end up passionately kissing on the dance floor. Afterwards, McCarthy confronts Tubbs at the bar, but seems neither surprised nor particularly angered by their actions. Izzy catches Crockett before he leaves and tries to pass on some important information, but is interrupted by the sound of a woman screaming outside. The party guests rush to see what the commotion is all about, and they see Giff's dead body being pulled from the water. At the station, Crockett suggests Giff was killed because McCarthy found out he was an informant, or because he was having an affair with Vanessa in exchange for skimming the money to her account. They meet with Castillo, who tells them that Guilford was shot once in the back of the head, and then was dumped into the ocean. He also lets them know that he cannot secure the $25,000 buy-in for the race, and Crockett needs to chat with someone else, specifically Gina and Trudy, who might be able to help them out. He also hears that the officers don't have enough confidence that he'd be able to win the race and won't give him the money for that reason. So he goes and sees Gina and Trudy, who give him the $25,000, and he promises to get it back to them. That same night, Tubbs and Vanessa end up making sweet love. On the day of the race, Crockett and Tubbs arrive in the Crockett's cigarette boat and almost miss the start because they are late. But during the race, they discover how McCarthy is smuggling his drugs into Miami by using 2 identical boats, the first of which is impersonated by people who look like McCarthy, and the second one, who is crewed by McCarthy himself, carrying the drugs, discreetly take the place and return them back to Miami, the drugs that is. Crockett ends up pushing his boat to victory, and at the marina afterwards, McCarthy and his crew are arrested by the vice cops. That night, Izzy goes to see Crockett on his boat, where the vice cop is spending a romantic evening with Gina. Izzy shows him what he wanted to tell him at the party, that he shows him the gun that was used to kill Giff. He explains that he witnessed the murder and that Vanessa was responsible. Killing Giff when he threatened to tell McCarthy that the money he was helping to skim after she tried to break off the affair. Crockett and Gina go to Vanessa's house to arrest her. Tubbs answers the door, and Crockett tells him the ballistics have confirmed the gun that he was holding is the one that shot and murdered, and the fingerprints match to Vanessa. Taking the gun away from Crockett. Tubbs goes, fuck.
How will it end, folks? I mean, you might have to watch the ending of this one. We try every single week to recap. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It's not always in the cards.
That's tough.
It's defeating feeling, too, eh? I think I was the first one. I did it like 3 times during MacGyver. It's a real defeating feeling.
I had one line there. I looked at my time. I was like, I have time right now.
You did, but you didn't. I think if you were at maximum strength and fully healthy, I think you would have done just fine.
Yeah, everything's slow, man. I mean, I went to go to the gym today, just crush a workout, and I was like, I'll just do a kettlebell workout, ton of little stuff, like 40 pounds, and I was dead. I felt like I was going to puke by the end of it. It was brutal. Just absolutely brutal.
There was a time where once you relished the opportunity where you could puke at the gym.
I never enjoyed it. I mean, it's a sign of an accomplishment in my opinion, but like,
it's a sign of being cool. You didn't want to do it.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
You don't want to do it, but when it happens, you do take pride in the moment. I can say that at least.
Yeah. I think that was really it for you. Yeah. Geez, it really feels like you've gotten a hold of you.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I did decide to work out today because I have a rule of thumb that if my resting heart rate is 10 beats over what it normally is, that would be a no workout day.
Okay.
It sits at like 51, 52. And I'm like, if it's in the 60s that day, like, yeah, you got to back right the fuck off. Like, your body's, no, something's wrong with your body.
That's a no workout day.
That's a no workout day. Yeah, that means your body's recovering from, or it's like it's hurting kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
And breathing. Yeah. Hey, man, listen to Rogan, Fauci.
I mean, woman. Yeah.
Woman. Woman. Bat. Anyway. Yeah. So that's one of my, not my pro tip. But if you do have a heart rate monitor, you don't wear any of that shit, right, Cam? You don't even wear a watch.
I don't wear any of that shit. I have an
iPhone. I can tell the time that way. The guy who always shows up 6 minutes late to a podcast. I know what time it is.
I'm free rolling. I don't wear rings or bracelets or necklaces or.
You have a nose ring.
Yeah, that's not like a finger ring or an anklet. Cam, you're always trying to get me to wear these anklets that you've been crocheting. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm
trying
uncomfortable.
To save money for summer camp.
I'm uncomfortable, and I don't give a fuck if you go to summer camp. And I don't care if your t-ball team can't go to state. Okay? Don't put this on me.
Don't you also have spacers?
I said I don't wear anklets. How hard is that to understand?
And the spacers will never come out? Or wait, are yours the size that they won't shrink anymore?
They would shrink. The body
Would they go back to nothing?
The body is an incredible thing. You can get a virus and your body will just clean yourself of that. You don't need a vaccine to even cleanse your body of illnesses.
Do you tape?
Just ask my good friend Irvin Magic Johnson. He's fine.
Do you ever tape up your things when you're playing basketball? Your earrings?
No.
Your ears?
No.
Because think about this. They do this in fighting. If a guy has spacers, they tape up their ears. Because if a finger gets in there and it pulls, oh boy, do we have a problem on our hands.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, no, they're not that big. Like, I couldn't even fit a finger through it, and I have famously small hands.
Yeah, I guess.
I can put in a little Allen key. If you have a little Allen key, I can kind of hang it in there.
Do you ever put stuff in there just for,
Yeah, like
utility storage.
Yeah, I like to always have a Cliff Bar ready to go because sometimes when I'm low energy, that's all I need, and I'd rather it be rather than a piece of candy or something. Really, that little bit of sugar can sometimes just kind of wake me up.
What about the little pocket on your jeans? Do you ever put anything in there?
Oh, in the right pocket. That's
big fan of that pocket.
Oh, that's the lighter pocket.
That's the lighter pocket. See, that's my AirPods pocket.
Yeah, I always that's the pocket that you put a lighter in when you're out and about.
Yeah, I guess I don't smoke weed, so the only time I need a lighter is to like light a fire now.
Which, Cam, I gotta be honest, I saw a couple photos of your backyard the other day. You're starting way too many fires.
You know what? At least it wasn't someone else's.
Well, Shannon's over there at work, and she keeps getting calls about coming to your home.
Fuck off.
You know how embarrassing that must be?
Yeah, I haven't had that happen yet. Where, yeah, like, I don't think she'd be happy if I told when the police came, like, I tried to get myself off by using her name. Speaking of, how many times have you been pulled over by the cops?
Twice, and then ride programs, but those don't count, right? Okay.
No, those don't count. Those are.
I'm gonna say twice. Yeah.
Have they, when you were in the ride program, do they grill you at all, or is it just like a quick in and out?
It's always a quick in and out, and I'm always have nothing to.
Yeah.
I find the few times if you're the DD, you get way less flack than if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I find because you can kind of come open there with the I'm the DD. We were just at a concert or something, and
all the ads that you put on TV. I'm the guy.
I'm the guy. I am that percentage. Because if I'm the DD or something, I won't have a single drink at all.
Oh no, yeah, no. I might do like 2.
Because if I'm not getting drunk, I don't give a I'd rather just save the cash. You know.
Fair, yeah. I don't know. I like having a casual 1 or 2.
And that's why you keep getting pulled over by.
No, I've only been pulled over one time was because I was telling Shannon this today actually.
Jesus.
One time was because I was driving to a powerlifting meet and there was I didn't look in my rear view. You know when you're driving on the highway for way too long and then you kind of clue and you're like, I forgot I was driving, and then you look, because then you look in your mirrors. One of those, like you're just kind of tuned out. Okay. And there was a police officer behind me, and then you get the instant like, oh crap, how fast am I going? Am I even in the lane? I was in the lane, but I kind of get like a little twitch, like I was like, oh fuck, and like slowed down immediately. Then he pulled me over, and I didn't know the policy for getting pulled over, so I pulled over on the left side of the highway. Oh no! Yeah, and he's like, "What are you doing? Like looks like you swerved a little bit back there." I'm like, just got nervous, didn't see you were there, and just kind of panicked for a second. He's like, okay, like next time just don't go on this side of the road, like it's really dangerous. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're literally beside the fast lane.
Yeah, I know.
The Eagles told us about what life there was like.
Yeah, they were right. And then he was like, all right, see you later. And the second time was because I was picking up Connor Park and Alex Blarty from the bar. I can't talk for this long. I'm losing it.
You can't. You need a fisherman's friend.
Yeah. And so I was picking them up. So I was DDing, and then we got pulled over. I think it's because I was on King Street at night, and there were like 5 dudes in a car. I think that's just a big red flag when you have a lowered Mazda, right?
That's called heat, as you call it. That's too heat, Cam.
Yeah. And they pulled me over, and they're like, do you have your license and registration? I'm like, is this my registration? They're like, no. I'm like, I don't think I have my registration. They're like, yeah. They're like, do you have your insurance? I'm like, I have this document. Like, sir, this expired 2 months ago. I'm like, whoops.
You're like well, wow.
I'm doing a good thing though, officer. Like, I was studying all that. I picked up these morons. One guy ended up getting a ticket for not having a seatbelt in the back, and then I got off scot-free. Lucky as hell.
Lucky as hell. No, that is pretty lucky, Cam.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Yeah, would recommend.
I'm sure he was, Cam. But well, there was that third time that you got pulled over by a police officer because you were driving out to Ottawa about a month ago.
They can't prove why I was going there.
They can't specifically prove why you were going there, but they did ask, sir, why do you have this rented U-Haul truck? And it's empty, and you're approximately 350 kilometers from your home.
I said they're taking this too far.
I did hear about
enough's
that.
Enough.
I did hear about that.
Motorcyclists are headed down there now, and I don't know why.
Because then you hastily texted me saying, "How do I donate to a GoFundMe?" And about an hour later, you asked me again, "How do I get my money back from a GoFundMe?"
Yeah, that turned itself on.
That trip really kind of turned into something else. Yeah. And you accomplished nothing. Arguably nothing.
All I'm saying is we don't have a vaccine mandate anymore.
Right. That, of course, we don't. You can go into the grocery store, and I walked into the grocery store the other day, and I've been doing this other thing just, because people are getting back out into the world, Cam. People are connecting. They're going to concerts and entertainment things. A sense of community is really getting involved. So what I've been doing, I've been I've been going to the grocery store and kissing all the produce, just as my way to be like, hey, let's be people again. So I've been going to individual Brussels sprouts, individual crowns of broccoli, and just trying to be given a personal touch.
I've been doing a step further and using my cough for good.
Yes.
And showing people that you don't need to be scared.
Well, you were doing this thing the other day. You kind of took a page from where a politician will kiss a baby, for a good photo op or something. You kind of took inspiration from that. You just started coughing on babies.
Yeah, it's to show them you got to build that immune system.
Oh my God, Jesus, that was a tough one.
I'm losing it.
You need a Halls or something.
I just need a drink.
You need a drink.
Need to buy you a drink.
You need some green tea, Cam. How's this?
That'd be a good. Yeah, I'm gonna get a Neo Citronamine tonight. Those are great.
That's what. Yeah, you need something like that. Your vitamin C, the graduation song.
Ivermectin. Oh, that's one we have not.
Oh, of course. Nothing cures a sore throat like ivermectin. Because when I have a sore throat, the first thing I think of is a drug I've never heard of before.
Speaking of headlines, Cam, why don't we get into our next segment of the evening? That's right, it's Headline or Asinine.
Hey, headline or asinine. Headline or asinine.
We go through the world of fake news and we try and figure out what's real anymore. What's real in this crazy world? Cam, I'll kick us off. Get my throat ready.
Jesus.
Tropicana creates cereal to be mixed specifically with orange juice.
Cereal with orange juice. God, that feels like a...
Who's drinking cereal or who's drinking orange juice anymore?
Yeah, juice is something that really does not exist in my cupboards, or it definitely doesn't exist in the cupboards, but certainly not in the fridge. And I would wonder, if you're a parent, kids are for cereal is for kids. There, I said it. Take that, Trix.
If you consider cereal a meal, you stop listening. Turn this off.
Yeah,
I can't even speak, and I can say that.
Yeah, you can't, and Cam, and that's not just because you sound like you were eating a bunch of Captain Crunch and it tore the shit out of your throat. No, that is because it is exactly true. Now, what is the health difference between orange juice and milk? And don't you want your kids drinking milk instead? I can't imagine a situation where you're like, what do we want? What do we want to feed our kid here? Milk so they grow big and strong, and orange so they get fat and they have to piss very soon. I would have to say, this sounds real, but so stupid. I'd be curious about what the cereal maker is exactly. Is it a flavored shreddy of sorts, because I'm sure cereal's been cultivated for years, literally, to taste good with milk. Now science has to come in. Science. Oh, you want to talk about science for a second?
Why don't we look at the research?
I'm
just saying you need to do your own research on these things.
We just need to do our own research. Mandates Tim Pool headline.
This is a headline, and it's called Tropical Crunch. And you can find it on tropicalcrunch.com, which will be released on National Orange Juice Day, which is May 4th. This coming, Wednesday, I think?
Oh, wait. I thought May 4th is famously Star Wars Day.
I know. Whoever fucking came.
These people are trying to usurp a day.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be plugging this because someone on a Slack channel is going to be like, May the 4th be with you.
Well,
like, fuck you. It's National Orange Juice Day, you fucking cuck.
God. You can't just do that. You can't just take over a day that belongs to another day. That's like Nancy Pelosi telling me what to do. You just can't do it.
So they tried with wafers, but they didn't work too well because they got too soggy. So they ended up going with honey almond clusters, and they'll be free, limited supplies, and you can get them on May the 4th, National Orange Juice Day. Anyway, it turns out Tropicana also tried doing Tropicana toothpaste a few years ago as a limited time giveaway. That toothpaste that was specifically designed to keep your orange juice tasting good after brushing your teeth. I don't know who needs that.
Yeah. I mean, that's akin to torture, giving somebody orange juice after making them brush their teeth. Jesus. Okay, Cam, I go in here for you. Headliner Asinine, airline passenger arrested for masturbating 4 times during a flight from Seattle to Phoenix.
I don't know what's going on with flights these days, but people are just losing it. People are getting duct taped to their seats. People are masturbating 4 to 6 times on average.
Average.
On average. My average is at least.
And Cam, speaking of the average, and you were just flying to
amount of people who die,
and you were just flying to Montreal. It was a quick flight,
up and down, just like me. Anyway, 4 times. I imagine the first 2 times just no one saw it, but then the 3rd time someone got a little bit of an inkling, and then 4th time it was just apparent because they were making eye contact. At that point, tape them up, shut them down, put the saran wrap around their body, and definitely keep their hands to themselves. That's a headline.
Cam, this one is a headline here for you, and this was on a Southwest Airlines flight where at some point during the just over 2.5-hour flight, Antonio McGarrethy masturbated 4 times. When the plane lands, he was taken into custody, and he'll have to spend 90 days in jail. He admitted to masturbating 4 times, but did tell police that he only climaxed once. This was on a 6:12 a.m. flight, where shortly after takeoff, a witness saw him rubbing his crotch. McGarrethy told the police that he had asked a woman who was watching if she was okay with it, where she reportedly put her hands up in the air and said, "It really doesn't matter." After the 90 days are over, of course, McGarrethy has been put on Southwest Airlines' permanent no-fly list.
And that's the thing about women, Cam. They say it doesn't matter. Obviously, it matters. When a woman says, "Leave, I don't want to talk to you," and then you leave, and they say, "Why didn't you fight for me?" I'm just getting mixed messages here.
I caught 3 words out of what you just said, Cam, but I can only imagine it was quite insightful.
Twas.
Okay.
Headline Rastin, Cam. First North American Barista Olympics leaves patron with 2nd-degree burns.
Wow. Well, as soon as a competition show element is added to it, right? Of course, you're going to start making mistakes. You're watching a show like Hell's Kitchen. I'm sure a lot of these chefs are way better. If they didn't have some wrinkly British man screaming at them. I I'd probably do worse at my job if somebody was screaming at me while I was doing it. So baking a competition for a barista. So the type of course, the type of things I'm thinking of course, is the milk art.
Milk art's a big one.
Milk art. Of course, you have the 100-meter pour-over brew.
Vertical 100 meters.
Oh yeah, exactly. You'd have the long nitro brew jump.
Nice. Yeah. That's a good one.
You'd have the shot espresso put. And see, so a lot of these things can just be inherently dangerous. Of course, controversially, last year they added the event of figure skating on frozen coffee, on iced coffee. Which one. Exactly, but
figure skating on iced coffee.
Yes, it was.
That was the punchline you're looking for.
Well, I'm not looking for it. I'm just telling you the truth of exactly what happened.
Speaking of the truth, why don't we dig into that a little deeper?
Well, speaking of the truth, did you know that the ice coffee Olympics was Fauci's idea?
Did they need vaccine mandates to get into the building?
Not only did you need vaccine mandates, you needed a quad shot. You needed all four.
All four, double Pfizer, double Moderna.
Yeah, you needed one of each, and then an AstraZeneca just on top, Cam. So what kind of things, like, I'm surprised that there is some kind of patron in these Olympics. Usually when it's a competition, somebody's not on the other end. Like a normal person who's like a result of it.
You're the best.
Exactly. Right? Like, surely that's
sign my shirt.
Or it's a judge. What does the average person, what does the average Joe know about Joe? Joe Biden, that is. I'm not talking about coffee. I'm talking about
I'm a truther, baby.
I'm a truther. So I'm curious to see what kind of the competition is that would leave somebody burnt, like a normal person burnt. It does sound a little too good to be true. Cam, I'm gonna say this one is asinine.
Yeah, you caught me. You caught me in my lies, just like Kamala Harris's lies.
Kamala Harris's lies. You know what the big lie is, Cam? She's not really she's actually a man. She is JFK Jr. Follow my logic. Coronavirus, Cam. I got one here for you. Headliner Asinine. And Cam, another one that is kind of in your wheelhouse here, coming up to October. Headliner Asinine, Cam. Bride and caterer are charged after wedding guests drugged with cannabis at reception.
Yeah, that's an interesting play. I didn't think about that one. That's definitely something I should talk to my caterer about. If I know that people are...
Of course, because you decided to go all out for your catering this year and you hired Tommy Chong?
Yeah, I went to... I tried to do a collab between Le Petit Mushroom Company and the 420 Zone to see what they could come up with. Mm-hmm. This is interesting. I mean, I think if you had a certain type of people at the wedding, right, and you're like, don't tell anyone, at dessert, they're going to be like cookies that are like weed cookies. Like, just don't tell anyone. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to laugh because it's going to be the midnight bar. The only people that are at midnight are druggies, right? Speaking of drugs, why don't we talk about the real drug, ivermectin? Anyway, where am I going with this? Yeah, this seems like a good play. I mean, I don't think I would do it, but I think for the right people, this would be a good, solid wedding idea. And I'm going to say it was the dessert bar. Yeah, they're getting sued, and this is a headline.
Cam, this one is a headline here for you. This is a story about, her name is Dania Svoboda. This is a story out of Florida, so who the hell cares? A 42-year-old bride-to-be and Jocelyn Bryant, the 31-year-old owner of a catering company, who are charged with delivery of marijuana and culpable negligence after wedding guests became sick after eating the weed-laced food. A 41-year-old guest at the wedding had called the authorities during dinner after reporting that he felt like there were drugs in his system after only consuming food and booze throughout the night. Body camera footage shows a wild scene for everybody there. So these cops walk into a wedding where people, like, it's not dancing yet. So it's kind of like little music in the background. No one's really moving around. And there's just people lying on the floor. There's people hunched over. There's like lying on their tables. And guests are being taken away on stretchers, all while the bride seems to be smiling and laughing in the background. So, when police arrive, the catering company can be seen quickly rushing food out of the reception hall, where you can hear guests yelling things like, "There's something in the food! There's something in the food!" When police interviewed the bride and groom about the quality of their food, they stutter and respond, and we have no idea what you're talking about. One guest even claimed they saw a caterer putting spoonfuls of green stuff into the olive oil that came with the bread and the appetizers. They asked Brian, the caterer...
Maybe that's oregano?
It might have been. Brian and the caterer was asked and told the guest, smirked and told the guest there was marijuana in the food. This led to a number of paranoid and totally baked guests who were treated in the local hospital. Police found the food that was dumped out beside the building. They tested the food and it did come back positive for THC.
Wow. So the shitty thing about that, if that's in Florida, everyone has a hospital bill for that. And imagine being like, sorry, it's a $400 hospital bill because I'm high.
Well, that's why they sue each other all the time, because it's like,
yes, yeah.
I had to spend $1,000 here in the hospital because you laced the food, then you sue that person. Pretty sure that's how it works.
I guess, yeah. Fucking stupid country. Speaking of stupid country, Cam, Black Tennessee mayor declares April Confederate History Month. We all know.
I'll be honest, I don't love the way you segued into that.
Just hear that out. Black Tennessee mayor declares April Confederate History Month.
Confederate.
We all know. Yeah, so that's the one. Confederates were the ones who were pro-slavery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this one's Black Tennessee mayor declares April Confederate History Month.
Oh, I heard you the first time. You don't need to keep rolling.
Okay, just wasn't sure if you caught me there.
Oh, no, I'm not you, Cam, so don't worry. I usually pick up on things. This is an interesting one. I wonder what April is already the month of. Like February is Black History Month. I think April might be like Women's Month.
April flowers. May flowers.
Yeah. Oh, it is April Showers Month, of course. But like we were just talking about, Orange Juice Day usurping Star Wars Day. Surely a month can be usurped, right? It's really just what's going to be more popular now, Cam. What will be more popular? International Women's Month or International Confederate History Month? That is a really close call. I have to say women gets the bump. I think that's pretty obvious. They're not going to win some kind of poll or anything, these Confederate history, but it does sound like something somebody would try to push. There's probably no month for Confederate history, and there's probably a lot of people down there who believe that it's important to talk about, or at least remember, lest we. Cam, I'm going to say that this one is a headline.
This one is a headline for the new mayor who is doubling down, actually. So in the States, many people have kind of pushed away that history, but some have doubled down on it. So April 26th is legally been named Confederate History Memorial Day in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, and Mississippi. And now this would be the whole month dedicated to it in Tennessee. A little bit of an odd stance, but hey, live free, die hard.
Of course, Cam. And how is that tattoo healing across your back?
I didn't. Well, we don't talk about the tattoo.
Right. Because they spelt it wrong.
It says some symbols in there.
Says "live free, die had." Almost like a come having had type of play. Live free, and
Where are you going with this?
I don't know, Fauci. Cam, headliner Asinine here. Man dropped used condoms in church donation box. Said he was doing it for Jesus.
Yeah, because he was saying, I don't use these anymore. I'm done with these. See, Jesus, I'm over this. I'm only raw dogging from now on. How do you let that? Because what I know is that there's only one person that can talk to Jesus or God or one of the two, and that's your priest. So, how do you let him know without letting him know? And show him the proof. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the rubber. I'm gonna call bullshit on this one because I think that's a little bit too stupid.
Cam, this one is a headline here for you. This is a story out of Karnataka where a 62-year-old Christian has been arrested for dropping used condoms into donation boxes at local mosques and temples for over a year. At least 5 temples in the area who all lodged complaints to local police after they found condoms with stuff in it, in their donation boxes. It wasn't until the 6th temple who contacted the police and said, hey, we have camera footage of this whole thing happening. Where during the interrogation, they find the guy who then admits to police to being the man behind the cum in more than 15 mosques and other religious temples in the area. He did so for Jesus, saying that he dropped these condoms as impure gifts for impure places. After the police psychiatric evaluation, they determined that he is not mentally ill and he was fully aware that he was desecrating these religious spaces.
I definitely didn't think that was the angle he was going to go for, because aren't condoms like a big no-no within Catholicism? Like any form of birth control is shunned?
This guy's Christian, so
I can't say I know the difference too well.
Well, Catholicism is within the branch of Christianity, but
right.
Catholicism is more like extreme Christianity. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, there's many different sects within, where you can have, like, Orthodox Jew and then just, like, normal, hey, what's up, kind of Jewish, or you can be kosher, or whatever the case might be. Like, there's varying scales to it. Exactly. I
know things.
Chris Sky. Exactly. All these types of people. So grab your truck, and that was the end of Headliner Asinine.
Great. Okay. How deep are we into this podcast? Not as deep as that needle ever went into me. I'll tell you that for free, Cam. Plug It or Shrug It is our next segment.
Plug it or shrug it. 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 Plug it or shrug it.
I'm sorry for the sickness here, folks. I just don't know what to tell you. Sorry for the snorting. Don't have any clinics here because that'll sound even worse.
That's the apology. That's the apology heard around the world, folks. Right there.
So, I'm gonna give a shrug this week, Cam.
Ooh.
This one's a traffic thing for me. This happened multiple times.
Okay, wait. Okay, Cam is pulling, stepping in front of a brick wall here, and a big spotlight just shone right on him. Somebody's handing him a microphone.
Traffic, am I right, folks?
Somebody's playing a bass from somewhere.
You ever have the thing where you're in traffic and it's kind of slow.
These pretzels are making me thirsty!
And you are trying to merge in because you have to get over, and there's someone in your blind spot, which you can see and you're well aware of it, and that's why your signal is on. But because traffic is slow, you kind of start merging into that lane because you're like, I know you can back off, and you're leaving me space. And then they just start ripping their horn at you. Oh, buddy, it just infuriates me. It infuriates me because, like, we both know what I'm doing here. You're being the big asshole. I'm still thinking about that. I should have let that one go.
Are you a honker? I'm not a honker.
I'll honk if someone cuts me off, but it's more for awareness. It's like, oh, I'm here. It's not a lay on the horn. I'm not a layer.
Yeah, see, I'm not a road rager, but I'm mean to drivers in the car.
Oh, so you're the guy I'm complaining about.
No, because I'm not a bad driver. I'm a great driver. But if you're in a situation where you're cutting me off or you're pushing out and it's not your time to go or something, I won't lay on the horn, but I'll say horrible things about you. Like privately in the car, but at a very low tone, calm.
Right.
You know, I'm not yelling. I just say, I hope your wife cheats on you. You know, like just things like that to make me feel a bit better.
That's fair. Yeah, that's my shrug. So don't sit in people's blind spot is the main thing I think I'm getting at here.
Okay, that's a good one. Cam. I'm gonna give you a plug this week. I feel like I've been back-to-back shrugs. I feel like I came up with this segment just so I could complain about shit. So I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna plug something this week. It's spring cleaning, and I've been doing a lot of. I've been kind of going through little closets or rooms or cupboards at a time. You know, getting rid of some shit, reorganizing shit. And I gotta say, Cam, when it's a nice day and you're improving your living space, that's what I got to plug right there. Spring clean, do it. You know that cupboard where you're kind of you've been saying for the past like 4 weeks now. You're like the cups should be on the first level, not the second level. Fucking go ahead and put the cups on the first level. Do it. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. If I mean, you know, I'm not the hero that people wanted or asked for. But I'm what you got, so that's all I got.
Love it.
Jesus Christ, Cam.
Hey, I'm trying. I showed up. That's half the battle. This isn't a
participation test where you get 3 marks just for writing your name at the top.
I would like the 3 marks, and I will negotiate for them.
And I'm not going to take that negotiation. That's all the time we have for the show this week. Thanks for listening, folks. Rate, review, like, subscribe. The show is everywhere. twoceesinapod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. The 2 Seasons Pod Invitational coming up. Tickets are still available for that. I think we have a camping trip coming up in a little over a month also. Little 2 Seasons Pod pre-corporate retreat, of course, before the big corporate retreat on the August long weekend.
What's going on then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to hype things. I'm just trying to, you know, add some excitement. You know, maybe of course employee 42069, fan favorite of the show, of course.
Good point. All right. Hey, there we got, folks. The Leafs haven't won a playoff round in 18 years, so let's hope we break that curse this year. I'm Dan McClare signing out.
Take care, folks.
Continuing tonight on 2 Seasons a Pod, 96.7 on your
Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's because we're 2 C's in a pod, just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com.